Bon dia for you, but we're heading to the noche time for myself here. Um, I am obsessed with this nook area here at
And that's the
the
one with like the day. Is that the day bed?
yeah, like
Yeah, yeah.
obsessed. I work from here and
Okay,
I love this little spot. Obsessed.
okay.
Obsessed. I wish more hotel rooms had them.
When I saw your, I think it was on Instagram. Like, would you work here? And I was like, oh my gosh, like, yes, yes. I mean,
Right here.
it looks great.
And it's so comfortable too. It's cozy and I don't know, I had to fight Jeff for it at one point in time. I was like, "No, that's
I
my spot."
it looks nice. I'm so jealous. I love Barcelona so much, and I wish I was there.
I meant to send you I'm gonna send you a little picture right now of what was going on this morning. There was some happenings by the hotel this morning.
Okay.
I was gonna send it to you and I was like, "Haley, you can't send that. It's 3:30 in the morning."
I mean, I would.
Where is it? There it is. On its way.
I,
Although it might take a hot second because we all know that the, network in Barcelona is not necessarily the greatest.
I got it. I got it. Oh, was it a free Catalonian protest?
It sure was.
Uh-huh. So, guys, if you don't know, the region of Spain where Barcelona is the Catalonian region, and they have for years tried to break away and form like their own, almost a state, but they want to be their own country. And Spain is just like not going to let them do it. And they say, well, we have all the money. I mean, they do. Like Barcelona is the that region is the wealthier part of Spain,
Oh,
and
percent
uh,
is.
and so they provide a lot of the tax revenue. So, um, anyways, all
Well, you know,
right.
that actually it dates back a long time actually because, this part of Spain used to be part of the Kingdom of Aragon, which, like, Isabella Castile, Ferdinand of Aragon, this area and like the Basque Country was its own thing because they both ruled their own regions independently,
I
even though they were married.
I will take your word on it. I struggled in school with European history. It was one of the only not good grades I got in school. So I will take your opinion.
Oh,
I trust your opinion.
that is my forte. I love it because, with them ruling separately, when she Isabella died before Ferdinand, her crown actually passed to her eldest daughter. It wasn't his to keep because they set it up so it still remained separately or separately.
Today in history.
It is today in history. And then person that may not have come to this part of the world yet, a lot of people get really excited when they come here. They're like, "Oh, I could, use that high school Spanish that I took." And Spanish is not the language here. Catalan
No.
is its own dialect of Spanish. It's this interesting mesh of Spanish. It's mostly Spanish, I will say that is
Right. Yes.
major
Yes.
foundation, but it has some French influence and then some I don't know what mixed in
I
there.
remember when I was there for the first time, I was sending a good mutual friend of ours pictures of the menus because he speaks Spanish, and he was like, I, I, I don't know some of these words. And he was like, "You fool! You're sending me the Catalonian menu, not the Spanish menu." And I was like, "Oops, I'm sorry,
But to be
rookie
fair
mistake."
though, if you speak Spanish here, they get it. Like, it's
You
not
you could function, yeah, yeah.
100%, unless you're Jeff. Poor Jeff in the taxi ride here could not function.
Oh, same. I yeah, Spanish. I was much more of a STEM guy, science, math in school, history, and the arts. Minus music were never my forte. Well, Haley, it is top of the hour here. In Nashville, it's 10 a.m. Central Time, 11 a.m. at your home. So that means it's what time
It's
in
five
Spain?
o'clock somewhere.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere. Well, guys, I'm coming from you from not so exciting Nashville, Tennessee. I am Jason Poole. I'm with Cruise Planners. I'm a travel advisor and an American Express travel representative and love all things travel. Barcelona is one of my favorite cities. It pains me, but I'm so glad our co host for Today in Travel is joining us live from Barcelona. Good afternoon, Haley.
Yes, good afternoon and bon dia to you guys. My name is Haley. I'm a travel blogger. I also own a hotel sales support company, Hospitality with a Flair. Just like Jason, love all things travel. And I am live from my beautiful hotel room at the Edition in Barcelona.
So let's talk about that. So, this is your first time to Barcelona,
Yes.
first time to Spain, right?
Yes. I've
Yes.
become
Okay.
kind of a stamp collector these days in the non-traditional sense.
I like it. So, just kind of briefly tell us, like, why did you pick Barcelona, and why did you pick the Edition?
Okay, so it just so happened that we had to change up our February plans with all things kind of crazy. I'd canceled, I think you guys know a while ago, I'd moved my December trip to the UK to February, and then things were getting super hairy. And I'm like, whatever, I'm going to
Mhm.
cancel it. And then last minute, I'll book something. Well, I found some round trip airfare for 30,000 miles round trip from Buffalo to here, which is great for Europe. And was just like, "Do you know what? Like, my best friend does not shut up about Barcelona. I haven't been to Spain yet." I checked my Marriott employee rates. I love when I can get an employee rate at a nice property to try out. And
Absolutely.
this hotel, we thought about doing a med cruise in the summer. I had seen in the Marriott app and I was like, "Oh my god, this is like a category 8, which is top tier for Marriott."
Right. Yep.
It
Right.
has beautiful rooftop. I'm like, I wanna stay here, it looks beautiful. The stars aligned, and here I am. So, Edition is a very, very high-end boutique style product that's part of the Bonvoy collection. Edition itself is its own line. And there's only, I believe, 9 in the world right now. There's one being built by
Right.
you.
There's one in Nashville in the works. Absolutely.
And although this is that high-end premium luxury for Marriott, it is a very new concept. It is not like a Ritz-Carlton where you're gonna walk in and have the 10-inch crown molding with gold flaked this and that. This is not that kind of luxury. The style is kind of like a holistic minimalism is the way I'm going
Hmm.
to categorize it. Very high-end finish, but not a bunch of
It's not gaudy.
not gaudy. Gaudy.
LOL. Did you get
Oh,
what we did
oh,
there? Did you
oh,
get what
for
we did?
those of you that have been to Barcelona, you know. But, one thing I will say, so of course it's Europe, so European hotel rooms tend to be smaller
Yes.
than what we're accustomed to here. The shower is amazing. It is huge. My husband thoroughly appreciates a big shower in Europe. It's a rain head. It's these nice finishes. It's this nice nook that I showed you. It has a speakeasy, it has a bar and a restaurant in it, but it's only about 100 keys. So additions are going to be a little smaller than like a
Like the
Ritz.
one in Miami. Like
Yeah,
the one in Miami, right where I stayed. It was
very,
smaller. Yep.
very small. And the attention to detail when it comes to service, I'm kind of obsessed with it right now. So we get a turn down every night. So they, in essence,
I
come
love
into
that.
your room twice and kind of pick it up. They put these glass bottles, I don't have one out because I drank mine, that they put on each of your nightstands with a glass. So if you get, thirsty in the middle of the night, they reset the mood lighting, reset this. It has the digital lights where you can let them know if you want service, you want this. But I mean, like every time you walk downstairs, they use your names. They're opening the door in and out for you. It is
Love that.
Very, very boutique service, very, very nice staff. So highly, highly recommend.
Well, I always struggled with wanting boutique when I'm in Europe, but also still getting those hotel loyalty points that you're always preaching about. And so property like the Edition is a nice blend of both.
Yes, and if that's kind of your style, like Edition's great. That autograph collection, even tribute is
Mhm.
nice. They have more late meridians over here in Europe.
Yeah.
Because I want the full service, but I don't want necessarily a 500 room property. If that makes
Right. So like I've stayed at the W Barcelona, and that's has to be a
sense.
500 room. I mean,
Beautiful.
it's beautiful, but I mean it's a huge I mean, it's a big property. I mean, it's beautiful. It's on the water, got a great pool. Like, I mean, I think it's cool. I think either option for people it would be fine.
Yeah, I
Like,
think that, and this is going to tie into our segment, our part of our segment
oh yeah,
on is based on what you want, like, and then benefit to these kind of properties, these smaller boutique style soft brands, even like a Thompson for Hyatt, or there's
hmm
Curio and Tapestry for Hilton. They can go into restored historic buildings, so you can find more of these closer to those neighborhoods versus a new build property.
right, right. Well, thank you for that. I wish
Yes.
I was there. I Barcelona at least once in 2022, so I might be staying at the same
Like,
property.
but this I will say, so like it's not my number one European city, but I would say that Barcelona is a really great entry level European city for a first timer.
I'd
It's a
agree with that.
great city if you have mobility issues. It's a little bit more modern in the respect that, the roads are more flat, a little more taken care of versus, parts of Rome where you have those old cobblestones that are very uneven, or I'd say that it's even a bit more modern compared to most of Paris that I've been in as well, not necessarily building wise, but it's a really great entry level, couple nights before a cruise kind of city.
No, yeah, I love it. I love it. Well, speaking of cruises, we have some cruise topics to talk to today or talk about today. So this week or yesterday, actually, I think it was yesterday, the Wonder of the Seas finally arrived to Florida. This is Royal Caribbean's brand new cruise ship. It's the fifth Oasis class cruise ship, and it is the largest in the world. And the ship looks beautiful. I saw a lot of the drone shots of the ship. It looks like they're going to have some cool, neat additions to the Oasis class. So that's really exciting, especially for those family travelers who want all the amenities of a family cruise ship. Looks going to be great. And they're introducing an eighth neighborhood, the Suite neighborhood.
I think it's
So
so long overdue. They have needed that
I agree.
revamp ultra version of
I
this
agree.
class, not just changing out restaurants. They needed
Right. So on the
something.
other Oasis class ships, or actually in every other Royal Caribbean ship, the suites are kind of all over the place. Yes, you had the lofts together on Oasis class up on the top of the ship, but on this ship, all the grand suites, owner suites, loft suites, including all the star loft suites, are all they're in the same area. Junior suites are kind of still scattered around. Those are just extra large
Or
balconies.
fake sweets.
Uh, yeah, they're what do you call them? Studio suite, but even
I
a
like a
studio suite,
studio suite. Like, it's kinda like a fake suite. You get a bigger room and it's
you get a bigger room.
called a suite.
Right. So it's going to be exciting to see the Sweet Neighborhood, and I cannot wait to see if that concept will be. It's hard. You can't move ships. You can't move rooms around in the other Oasis class ships, but I hope this is a good time for them to rebrand the Suite experience because when you compare it to the Haven on Norwegian,
That's
or even
what Royal Caribbean misses, that, one of its bigger competitor
yeah,
truly
right.
has. And then even, Celebrity being a sister company,
with the retreat.
Right. When you're paying that money, having those perks, it just makes sense. I'll be interested to see that if this concept works, if they rework what they were going to do to the allure.
Oh, interesting. Yeah,
Because she didn't get her glow up.
right. Interesting. That is true. That is very true. And what's interesting too about the Wonder, unlike the other Oasis class ships, it's not doing a Broadway musical.
You
So
didn't
all of
I
the
didn't notice that.
all all the shows on board are going to be new, like Royal Caribbean made productions. I mean, look, it's a lot cheaper to make a show than it is to buy the rights to Mamma Mia or Hairspray, right?
Although
Like,
I would shamelessly go see every Mamma Mia showing on the Allure if I could.
oh, I would. I
I
absolutely
would
would.
go every
I
night.
would too. I would too. I love it. So, all right. So, staying on the topic of cruises, we have some exciting news with the Omicron variant surge kind of waning. We kind of saw this coming. Haley and I, we talked about this a lot. The mask mandates on most cruise lines are expiring this week. Some were last week, and like Carnival, for example, is going on like March 1st. They're getting rid of the mask mandate. Unvaccinated children still have to wear the mask, and there's some areas they're still highly encouraging you to, and some lines are even requiring you to wear the mask in some areas like the theater.
Yeah.
But this is a great sign of things kind of returning to normal. So, how normal is Barcelona feeling right now?
About 85% normal in my opinion. I don't know if Jeff would agree with me on that one. But I mean, there's some places like the tourist attractions, like the Picasso Museum, you had to be in your mask.
Okay,
When
okay.
walking the streets, it's hit or miss, like these little bars. And when I say little bars, we're talking they're maybe bigger than a balcony size cabin on a cruise ship. Like they're
Oh, wow.
little.
Okay,
They don't care. You can walk in and out, do your thing. It's kind of at your choosing. In the public areas of the hotel, they encourage it. Public transportation, but otherwise, I mean, it looks mostly normal. It feels mostly normal. And I mean,
okay.
I think you're seeing now with Europe, a bunch of these countries like Spain, I didn't have to test to come here if I was fully vaccinated.
Right,
So I am.
right.
Nope, I just had to bring my stuff, fill out the Spain form, and
Yep,
that was it. Although, I didn't even tell you this. When we got to the airport here, we had to scan our barcode from that Spain form.
yep.
Jeff got popped to take a random test.
Really.
He was real thrilled about it.
Right. Just so you know, it is about to storm so badly. My furniture's moving around, so if you hear noises, I apologize.
Oh, I don't hear
Um,
it.
okay, good. So sorry, guys at home. It's getting very stormy, and I'm right by the window. So sorry. All right. So talking about flying, Delta is introducing something new. We've talked about this being a trend in the industry. Basically, they're in, the book now, pay later. So Delta is basically letting you book your flights, and you can pay over a course of like 6 months to a year, depending on when the flight is, how expensive it is, etc. So if there's like some dream destination you're trying to get to and the flights are outrageous, that is an option.
It's a nice
Um,
option because sometimes the flight is the majority of the battle, especially when you're going internationally.
I tell my clients all the time, once you get over the sticker shock of the flight to Europe, everything else is about the same price, if not less. So,
100%. Eating in Europe, for example, is relatively cheap. Can you go to high-end restaurants?
of course you can.
Absolutely, but that dinner that I sent you last night, that
Mhm.
beautiful, like,
It was
crafted dinner,
beautiful. Yeah.
it's on my Instagram story if you guys wanna see it. It was an actual tasting menu, and you got all those appetizers to share. There were, like, 4 of them. You each get an entree and a dessert, and it was 39 euros. Like, we each did that. Jeff even upgraded his meal, and we got a bottle of wine, and the bill was, like, 105, $109.
Right. I mean, eating in Europe is just so cheap. So, all right. Well, so Haley and I, we've discussed Hawaii a lot, right? Because Hawaii being an island state, their COVID experience and procedures have been unique, being an island state. They're able to lock the borders down, but you can't drive, right? So Hawaii has had some of the strictest COVID protocols for visitors of basically any state in the country, because you have to get there by a plane.
Well, and
Um,
there's only so many hospital beds.
right, right, and it's not easy to move like Idaho is full of COVID patients, and they're moving them to like Seattle, right? It's easy to transport people. Hawaii doesn't have that luxury. So they have had pretty strict protocols in place. You have to show proof of vaccination to enter restaurants, bars, clubs, gyms. Starting March 6th, they're ending the requirement to show proof of vaccination at most places. So just kind of further proof things are slowly getting back to normal, as long as another variant doesn't come and
I think
wipe us all out again.
people are done. People are
And people are
done
done.
with it.
And people are done. And the last news article of the day, to show things are returning back to normal, our beloved airline, Delta Airlines, is bringing back meal service, hot meal service, I'm sorry, for first class passengers if the flight is 900 miles or longer. So that's great for those people who are flying across the country when you're in first class and they're like, here's a granola bar. Like, what? So American just announced a return to hot meals. Delta's doing it very soon. So that's a good news, especially for those who are either medallion status and get the company upgrades, or for those who pay the big bucks to sit up front. Like, I think that's a great sign.
Absolutely, and honestly, I'm almost a little annoyed with how long it took these legacy carriers
Just saying,
to do it.
yes,
Like,
I
you're
agree.
still charging the same price
Right.
without the cer I think that was a money grab thing, as much as I love Delta, and I mean, an American, United, same thing.
hmm I
I
mean, the money grab. Like,
It's a money grab, and, I even saw a video today, I got tagged in it on TikTok, somebody talking about how hotels are going away from daily housekeeping service, a lot of them, that you have to request it if
mhm,
you want it, and I have my thoughts, but I think it's ludicrous, and I think it's penny pinching overall.
I agree. I agree. No, I agree completely. So that is great news for those sitting up front on the longer Delta flights. So, all right. So our question of the day is: when you are planning a vacation, what are you looking for in that vacation? So let me back up. People take vacations for different reasons at different times of the year, right? I enjoy a quick trip to the Caribbean around the holidays, and around February when it's cold here, to go somewhere warm, right? Not looking for cultural immersion, I'm looking for just warm weather and to get away, right? Sometimes I want culture, new experiences. So what are you thinking of? And I guess the other question is, are you consciously thinking about that when you were planning your trips?
Yes, so I think it varies based on where I'm going. I noticed that overall trend-wise, I am leaning much more towards 80% of my trips being very cultural immersion. Like, I'm very interested in country hopping, like, getting into Europe, digging my heels, and getting a good taste of culture, everything. Um, I am not necessarily a relaxation traveler myself. I probably should be a little bit more relaxed, whatever that is. But for me, I'm very interested in overall new destinations or new experiences at a certain destination. That is probably my top priority. And if I have to maybe do an economy ticket or maybe a slightly lesser hotel to a degree to get and achieve that, I'm willing to do it. So right now I'm very destination focused overall. And then maybe one like Jeff and I doing the reflection, like one of those kind of trips that you were
Right.
talking
So
about.
I actually kind of echo what you said, right? Like I enjoy doing like a Super Bowl group cruise with a bunch of people. It's cold here, go kind of warm for 5 nights to a week. The holidays are fun. But yeah, like when I start looking at some of these, March, April, May prices in the Caribbean, just like, oh my God, like I would rather go to Europe, right? So my personal style is kind of being like yours, right? I'm ready to start seeing stuff that I've never seen.
And
Like
I
I
think people make the assumption too, especially with Europe during these time frames that you're talking about, that it's cold. Europe is a very different geographical point than what we have in the United States. It's not, based on looking at it on a map, you're like, "Oh, it's probably snowy and this." But here it's been in the 60s, and that is a delight
That's
for
nice.
me.
That's nice.
That is
I mean,
a delight.
Athens did just get the Parthenon in Athens did just get snow a couple of weeks ago, and it was
That's not
wild.
typical,
The
though. It's
No,
not a
no.
typical thing, and that's kind of what's nice is on these shoulder seasons, even going into April,
Hmm.
you can get beautiful weather. I mean, it's not going to be 88-degree beach weather,
Right.
but you can get beautiful weather and save money and get those cultural experiences.
Yeah, I agree. I am definitely wanting just to, see more countries, more cities, just do different things. And I'm planning to go to Europe a couple times this year, and
Same.
and oh, Alaska, that's a new experience, right? I've
It
never
is.
been to Alaska, so that's going to be a new experience. I'm looking forward to something just different, right? Never done an Alaskan cruise, so I am just really trying to use my vacation dollars a little more wisely as far as like what can I do that I've never done, because there's an entire world outside of the Caribbean. I like the Caribbean's it's great for a quick getaway, relaxing, but I sometimes am ready just to see other things. And what I just want
Yeah.
my clients to know is just to think about, what do you want to get out of your vacation, right? Are you thinking about that? And ask yourself if it's time to maybe, are your travel desires matching your travel plans?
Because some of those destinations, kinda like what we said, are not as out of reach as you would think.
No,
I mean, for
no.
example,
I mean,
you live in New York, upstate, Western New York. It's February, it's cold. You're sick of maybe going to Fort Lauderdale Beach every year during that winter break that your kids have, spending a ton of money. 30,000 round trip is not a lot of miles. Or even if you get to a hub like New York, you could fly round trip for $300. I've done it. And
right,
that's cheaper than flying to Florida. Like, that is the thing that is so mentally paralyzing is there's people right now spending 500 plus dollars round trip to fly to Florida, to Disney, to cruise.
right. Right? And look, and that's fine. Look, some people's travel desires are to relax in the Caribbean sun for a week, right? Some people want to take their kids on the wonder of the seas, and that's a bit, that is what they want. And that's great. That's amazing.
Yes.
Uh, but I have clients who are like, I kind of am bored of the Caribbean. I just don't know what else to do. And I'm like, well, there's an entire world out here.
Whole world out there.
There's a whole world, right? So, I mean, look, I love Cozumel. Look, Haley, we've had some good times in Cozumel.
We
Okay,
sure have.
we've had some good times. We've had some good times in Playa, right? I mean, we have had a lot of fun.
It has its place, but overall, my travel budget is trying to figure out how to try new things without breaking the bank.
I agree. I agree. So that leads us perfectly into our tip of the day, talking about miles. So, guys, this has been a little Delta heavy today, but that's what Haley and I talk about all the time.
Thank
Uh,
you.
so th- this is a great new feature. If you're an Instacart user, you can now add your Delta Sky Miles account to your Instacart profile, and they give you one Sky Mile for every dollar spent. I mean, that's an easy way to rack up thousands of free Sky Miles a year. And if you're paying with the Platinum Amex, who do one-to-one transfer to Sky Miles, or paying with the Delta Amex credit card, you're double dipping on Sky Miles. You're getting it for using a credit card
And that's such
and
a
for
great tip because there's so many other partners. You need to look and see who partners with your preferred one, because I believe Delta also does Lyft.
Lyft. We talked about that a couple weeks ago. And so
Yeah.
my Lyft account, and they give you double points if you Lyft to and from the airport.
Like, these are
So,
little ways that you can start racking up points, talking about those hotel promos a couple
yeah.
weeks ago. They all add up, and actually, speaking of points right now, I'm gonna plug this because I forgot to tell you. A lot of hotel programs, when you buy points right now, are doing bonuses. Marriott's doing 50%. I believe IHG is doing 100. So if you're
Hmm.
looking at some of these trips coming up and you're like, "Oh, I don't have enough points," with these points bonuses,
Right.
you could buy the points, and I've shown you a few times too, Jason, that sometimes it's
Oh,
cheaper to buy the points than to
it
book
is.
a hotel directly.
One time forever ago, before I was the Delta hardcore fan, I was barely away from some Southwest award flight, and I purchased the points. It was cheaper than just paying for the ticket, right? So I absolutely did it.
Absolutely. So
So
look for those bonus increases right
yeah.
now.
So
And then
I already linked my Sky Miles.
American Express runs those too, where if you transfer
Oh,
instead of the one-to-one, they'll do like a 40% Marriott bonus if you're
right.
transferring that way too. So always look for those.
No, that is great. Well, Haley, it is 5:30 in Barcelona.
It is.
It's time for you to go
Great.
enjoy your vacation. Guys, make sure to follow her on Instagram, Haley with the Flair. She's posting some great, great content. Makes me so jealous. Well, Haley, had a wonderful time. Thank you so much for letting us
Okay.
interrupt your vacation. And I can't wait to see the pictures. Guys, we'll see you next week. Join our Facebook group, today and travel.live, and we'll see you out there.